Welcome back everyone, my name is Eltimar and we are going to be continuing our Let's Play of Shadowrun Hong Kong, where we left off last time. We had entered the parking garage, killed some ne'er-do-wells, and experienced some things, including finding out that we need a key to the sewers, which we do know somebody who has it, so we're going to go find out about it. Can you tell me anything about this piece of armor? I own a street food cart. What makes you think I know anything about armor? Is it made of rice flour or something? I was hoping you could translate some Japanese on it. Oh, in that case, I actually can help you. Let me see. He turns the chunk of armor over in his hands, peering closely at it. After a moment, he hands it back. It says Renraku Kagaku Kabushiki Gaisha. It's the Japanese name for Renraku Applied Sciences, where the materials research branch of Renraku Asia. Where the hell did you get this anyways? Fished it out of a drain in the parking garage. No kidding, that's a hell of a place to find a piece of high-tech armor that's got Renraku marks on it. What would it have been in there? I think the serial killer fought some cops in there. His expression turns dubious. I don't know much about the megas, but this seems like some pretty rare armor to find on a serial killer. I don't think off-the-shelf armor has this research mark, and it seems pretty high quality. You'd have to be well connected to get something like this. See ya. Alright, so we do know that it is now advanced armor. Let's talk to DeMargo. Is he wearing armor? Maybe not. DeMargo's gotten himself a new cup of soy calf. He must run on that stuff. As you approach, he lifts it and salute. Hey again. Any new developments you need my help with? Whoever fought the police did it in the garage and at close range with a blade. That's definitely unusual. There are a lot of people in Hong Kong who can fight with a blade, but not many of them could take on 4 police officers and win. That's a losing fight even for the best gangers out there. Whoever you're looking for, they're no common killer. Sounds like your killer is the same one the police fought, that's for certain. There's nobody around here that could go toe-to-toe with 4 HKPF heavies at close range and come out on top. At least not any with the penchant for blades. You find whoever's good with a sword and has a grudge against the elders, you got your killer. See ya. Who is good with a sword, I wonder? Let's go talk to that store owner. She knows a lot about armor, so that should hopefully be able to give us some insight into things. Winky Quack, sorry. Do you know what kind of armor this piece is from? Perhaps let me see it, and I'll tell you what I can find out. Winky holds the armor piece up to her eye, taking out a jeweler's loupe to look at it more closely. Japanese markings. I don't recognize all of them, but the first one is Renraku, fairly recognizable to anyone who's used to seeing the name in Hanzi. The composition appears to be a high-density ferroceramic, probably boron carbide, with an interwoven bio-aramid mesh. The staining on the edges suggests it contained pockets of silica suspended in polyethylene glycol, similar to the commercially sold gel pack technology. This armor could have withstood a significant amount of impact force. Even standard 7.62mm rounds wouldn't have had much of an effect on it. What could penetrate it? High velocity rounds with a tungsten carbide penetrator would be the most common. This is the kind of thing armor-piercing, discarding sabot rounds were designed to defeat. A decoded melee weapon could do it as well, but there wouldn't be the kind of splintering around the edge. Same case with the explosive rounds, which he's spalling on the backside. Winky hands the armor piece back to you. Whoever shot this off the owner came loaded with the right kind of weaponry to get the job done. That's for certain. And you don't carry around that kind of ordnance unless you're sure of what you're going to be facing. It's just too expensive for common carry. Alright, well, now we know more about it. Slightly. Let's see if anyone else has anything. Oh yeah, we need to get the keycard from Rainbow. Do you have a key to the storm drains? Of course I do. How else would I get down to look for strange creepy crawlies, eh? Why do you ask? Can I borrow it? I want to investigate something down there. Ah, sure. Watch your step down there, though. The drains are a mite bigger than people normally expect. She tosses me the key. Best of luck. See you later, Rainbow. Alright, let's go down into the sewers now, I guess. I think it's that time of day. Sewer diving. Where is the sewer entrance, though? Right there. We found it. Never mind. I mean, the map's not that big. It was only a matter of time before we found it. Storm drains. Down we go. They are actually rather large, I will say that. Very sewery. There's some sort of investigation mark there, and one here. Body parts. This disgusting pile of stinking human remains smells strongly of blood and the first stages of decay. The arms, legs, and organs are heaped together like stacked firewood, leaking blood and gore across the floor. The parts contained therein appear to have been sliced away from the parent body rather than torn or bitten. Judging by the clean edges of the cuts, the blade used to sever these parts was extremely sharp. This is a whole world of messed up, Eltimar. Isabel takes a moment to suppress a retch. You think the killer stashed these here? They're stacked. They've been organized. This is our killer, all right. Looking closer at the pile, one part stands out. It's a severed forearm and it's covered in tattoos. Words in the Slavic language, and a shining lighthouse adorn the forearm, and ring-like images are inked on each finger. On the back of the hand, there's a skull inside a square. This arm belonged to a Vor. These are criminal tattoos. The lighthouse shows that he tried to escape from prison, or planned to. The words say, all police are dogs. That skull inside a square means he served a prison term for robbery once. What's a Vor? A Vor is a thief. The Vorivik is the name of the organization, Thieves in Law. They have a strict code and police their own, but they don't sever arms and leave them in a pile of gore. Good to know. What is over here in the storm drain examination room? Despite the darkness, you see something glitter at the edge of the drain. Looking closer, it appears to be a necklace chain of some kind. It's become caught in the drain's grate, narrowly avoiding falling down the deep pit. Let's take it. Lifting the necklace out of the drain, you turn it over in your hand. It's a simple silver pendant on a chain. The silver pendant depicts a long-tailed bird in flight, a magpie. She might actually just be dead. I'm a little bit worried about what I'm going to find around this corner here. A lot of people. As you're on the corner, you hear voices speaking just loudly enough for you to make out coherent sentences. The speakers are definitely not local. They speak with a slight Slavic accent, and their clothing is heavily armored. Around them are a number of crates and boxes, all mostly filled. Looks like the group is packing up. Yaroslav says the boat will be ready tomorrow morning. He's gotten everything arranged with the port authority. We move the goods to his warehouse, and he'll handle loading them onto the ship, and then we can get paid right then and there. The orc spits on the ground. I'll be glad to be done with this filthy place. I will too. I hate having to hide in these damn drains. It stinks down here. I can hear the devil rats running down the hallways. It's a mess, and it's disgraceful. We shouldn't have to put up with this bullshit. And Alexander still isn't back from his little trip. We'll have to leave him behind if he doesn't get back soon. I know, Galina. Until Andriy says we're in the clear from the Triads, we can't be seen with goods on the street. If they find us, we'll go back to Vladivostok in sausage casings. Those Red Dragon Mudaki don't screw around when it comes to protecting their turf. Who knows, maybe Alexander was stupid and they caught him. Either way, we'll have to lug this crap through the drains for a few clicks. Several boxes near the two women bear a distinctive label, a magpie in flight, the same emblem we saw stamped on Magpie's equipment in her shop. The orc woman sniffs the air suspiciously and her eyes dart towards the dark tunnel you stand in. Before you have a chance to get out of sight, she locks eyes with you. The orc lifts her chin as she regards you, cracking her knuckles. What do we have here? A curious little pest? Come to look for things that don't concern him? What do we do with pests, Galina? Galina puts a hand on her shotgun's barrel. We break him, Vestalisa, and then we hammer a spike through each of their throats, so anyone who sees their bodies knows not to meddle in our affairs. I suggest you stay where you are, pest. The Whampoan elders know I'm down here. You start a fight and you're gonna have a drone and cyberjunk, or you're gonna have every drone and cyberjunkie on the streets crawling up your ass. Some of the cockiness goes out of the Russian woman's eyes. She shifts back and forth nervously, shooting a glance at the orc. Finally, she lifts her shotgun, setting along the barrel. You think we're afraid of those little worms? Think we're afraid of you? Don't make me laugh. We could be out of here before they even realize you're missing. You think those crazy chipheads will give a shit about what happens down here? I don't think so. Rector chuckles lightly. You're Vorivik, thieves. You steal and rob for a living. We're Shadowrunners. We kill for our living. Which of us do you think will come on top in this fight? I don't care what you're doing down here or what you've stolen. I just want to find the person murdering the Whampoan elders. You think I give a shit about what you're doing down here? None of that concerns me. So why the hell should we let you live? We really need to get etiquette, academic, or gang. Because I know what happened to Alexander. Vasilisa's eyes narrow. She hisses her words through her teeth. If you so much as touched him, your suffering will become the stuff of legend. I promise. Where is he? The serial killer I'm looking for killed him. Why should we believe you? I think you're just lying to save your own skin. Right forearm, lighthouse tattoo, Russian words underneath that. On the back of the hand, a skull inside a square. Sound familiar? Vasilisa and Galina exchange a significant glance. Okay, so you've seen his arm. That doesn't prove anything. You could have seen it on him. I'm getting pretty tired of this. Down the way in the drains there's a pile of body parts. His arm is in it. You can go see for yourself. You're right. That is the act of someone very sick. We can talk peacefully, but keep your hands where I can see them. You took Magpie's keycards, didn't you? Yes, we did. Alexander took one earlier. He said he wanted to sweep the stockroom, see if there's anything worth stealing in it. She tosses us a keycard. Here, we don't have time for this. We have to move this gear. You want to play detective? Go right ahead. Works for me. Do you have anything else to add, actually? Before we go upstairs, let's, quick save in case we get in a fight. Is there anything you can tell me about the murders that I might not know? You think we get out a lot? I wouldn't have even known there were murders if I hadn't bothered to come out to get some soy calf last week. It's none of our business and it isn't our problem, and I like it that way. Okay, fair enough. That is fair. Let's go upstairs. I think we're done down here. Where does this actually lead? Oh, right there. Okay. Where is the storeroom now? Could be inside of her. Oh, it's over here. I see. I was like, I thought that was the sewer, but it's not. It's a different place entirely. Magpie's stockroom. Actually looks just like a storefront, although it's not. What's back here now? Food, apparently. Despite the table's crude construction, an artfully laid meal awaits the owner. Several small dishes are filled with pickled vegetables, while a larger plate is arranged with long slices of raw meat. The meat is a pale pinkish white like raw pork and is covered in a light soy marinade. Poking at the raw meat, you discover that it's surprisingly tender. What's more, it has the faint aroma of marinade, as if deliberately prepared. Eat some. The flesh is a little tougher than you would expect, but surprisingly flavorful. There's no bitterness or gristle to it. In a few moments you finish the small piece, and it leaves only the barest hint of aftertaste in your mouth. Gobbet watches you eat, her mouth slowly falling open. Alright, Eltimar, I know I love food, but you take it to a whole new level. I mean, you walked into a basement stockroom which is obviously inhabited by somebody. What's the first thing you do? Steal their dinner. That's just cold. I bet you we just ate people. Tastes like chicken. This box is packed full of odds and ends. It nearly overflows with a collection of knickknacks, souvenirs, and assorted personal effects. There's no rhyme or reason to the collection of items. They appear to have been thrown in haphazardly. Among the contents are charms from various temples, a wooden mask, and a paper fan. Well, the mask. The wooden mask is extremely light, it's been painted a pale white, and the surface is almost smooth as porcelain. Delicate features and lifted eyebrows are matched with bright red lips and delicately carved teeth. The teeth have been stained a deep black. The charms. The small charms are square cloth packets, each approximately 1 inch wide and 3 inches tall. They come in a variety of bright colors and are embroidered with characters for peace, prosperity, wealth, and protection. Inside each appears to be a folded paper prayer or fortune written in Japanese. How about the fan? Unfolding the fan, you tilt it up towards the light only to examine it. The image depicts an East Asian city from the 19th century or earlier. Curved roofs at sunset beside a deep blue river. 2 ships sail down the river, which is in turn spanned by a long wooden bridge. In the foreground, laborers carry buckets along the shore as a man on horseback rides in the opposite direction. In the distance, a pair of large red buildings dominate the city skyline. 1 large temple hall and a 5-tiered pagoda. Alright. As you step away from the box, you hear a slight click in the distance, the sound of a door's latch shutting. You're no longer alone in the storeroom. Oh, it's the blade, dude. Standing before you is a man clad in heavy armor and bearing a katana on his hip. Actually, he's got it in his hand, but whatever. His skin is an ashen gray, his eyes are dead white, his teeth are jagged and appear quite sharp. This is no man, this is a ghoul. The ghoul's blind eyes search back and forth as it regards you. It cannot see you, but you have a sense that it knows exactly where you are at all times. Ah, hired gun, no doubt brought to bear against me by the Whampoan elders, a means by which they can lift the curse plaguing them. I salute your tenacity, but I wonder, will you hear me out before raising your weapon to kill me? You're a ghoul and you're talking? Yes, I'm not only talking, I'm reasoning as well, and since you have not attempted to kill me, your own higher faculties are engaged. I am a curiosity to you. The ghoul bares its teeth, breath rasping over them as he inhales. You wish to know not only who I or what I am, but what I have done. As for who, you may come and guide you. I know who you are. You're the one killing the Whampoan elders. You are correct. I killed all the Whampoan elders to date. The only elder Magpie was according to my initial plan. I regret the deaths of the other elders, but it was necessary. Explain. This affair began simply enough. As you may surmise, I am not someone who can be seen in public without great risk. The Whampoa Garden is an excellent place to hide. No police or triad presence, and minimal interest in things that lurk in the shadows. Unfortunately for me, Elder Ying discovered me through communion with her spirits. Rather than kill me or chase me away, she came to me with a proposition. Ying and the other elders were having problems with one of their numbers. An elder named Magpie had been holding many of their plans hostage and would not budge. They could not remove Magpie, however, because her services were too useful to the Whampoans at large. Ying offered me a payment to dispose of Magpie, and I accepted. You didn't clean up all of her blood. I found some in the drain. Ah, unfortunate. I thought I was careful enough. Having it on my hands must have obscured my sense of smell, enough that I missed the last remnants in the drain. I disposed of Magpie's body by emptying the blood in her bathroom, then I cut her up into more portable pieces. Those were placed in plastic tarp which I took to the storm drains and hid. Gaishu nonchalantly waves a hand, his tone flat and unconcerned. It's unfortunate, but my survival depends upon consumption of raw metahuman flesh. Letting such nourishment go to waste would have been a foolish error. But why kill the other elders then? I contacted the elders, not in person of course, and they arranged to exchange payment. I assumed that since the job was done, Ing would be a woman of her word. Baring his teeth, Gaishu hisses his next words across clenched teeth. I was mistaken. I arrived at the nearby parking garage the elders had told me about. They cleared out the other Whampoans under some pretense, though I'm not sure what ruse they used. The elders never showed up. Instead, several members of the Hong Kong police force arrived. They were more heavily armed than usual, so I suspected they knew something of my nature. I saw scarring on the concrete from bullets and a blade. You killed them with a sword? And my hands, yes. My blindness precludes the use of ranged weapons. Unfortunate, since I was an excellent shot before I became infected, but my skills in grappling and Kenjutsu have only increased. A battle of swords is a clash of souls. Mine was stronger than theirs and they perished. A betrayal of that sort cannot stand. Not only was I not paid for my time and effort, the Whampoan elders treated me like a common animal, and I am so much more than that. Reputation is everything, and I had none. I had hoped to build a network of contacts so that I would be able to continue finding work, but with that treachery, my hopes were dashed. I decided to become the monster that they feared. One by one, I have eliminated them. They know how to contact me, and could have ended their nightmare at any time by making amends. I would have asked for more money, but I would have ceased my hunt, yet they did not. Instead, they contacted you, no doubt asking you to eliminate me where police had failed. So I ask, what now? What will you do? Will you attempt to finish what the Whampoan started? Or will you treat me with the same humanity I've shown you? Got some questions. Very well, what would you like to know? Did you eat the elders? Some of them, not all. My condition requires I consume raw metahuman flesh. I do not require a great deal to survive, perhaps 3 to 4 pounds per week. Consequently, there's vastly more supply than demand. Is this from your armor? Ah, yes. I felt a ragged edge on one shoulder plate. I assume it was removed when one of the police officers shot me with his rifle. The hazards of war include unkempt attire, unfortunately. Why would the elders have killed you instead of paying you? A number of reasons. They are notorious cheapskates and will always try to save money when dealing with outsiders. It could be their natural inclination towards profit. They may regard me as subhuman and therefore unworthy of respect. It could be that they felt I was too dangerous to be allowed to live. It could even be that they simply didn't like me. The net result is the same, however. They reneged on a deal that we brokered and attempted to have me killed. A message must be sent, blood must be paid. As they have hired you to kill me, they have obviously not learned their lesson. If I let you live, what will you do? Kill the rest of the elders and anyone else they send to exterminate me? It's a matter of survival. Should I ever have the opportunity to work freelance again, potential employers need to understand the price of betrayal. These murders are my curriculum. Vitae in revenge. Made my decision. Oh, do we want Gaishu? We have a pretty decent team, although I kinda really like him, he's cool. This is gonna be a tough call. On one hand, I really want him on our team. On the other hand, we've got a job to do. Yeah, come work with me. A curious offer, and one of the elders. Will you allow me the satisfaction of killing them? I want to see what they have to say first. I would counsel you not to believe their words, but you have the sound of one who is wary as a matter of course. Very well. Let us wait until a bit later in the night. Most pedestrians would be off the street, and it would be easier for us to approach the Whampoan without being noticed. Sounds like a good plan. Alright, here we go. We have him with us. He's actually in our group, sort of. There's nobody on the street. We might have to kill the elders. It just might be a thing that happens. I like him more than the elders. If someone tried to short me, I'd definitely kill them too. Like, that's something we would do. Oh, there they are. Hello, Eldering. There are 4 of you here, but there are 5 of us, plus a robot. As you approach Elder Ing's eyes widen, her mouth falls open and the veins on her neck bulge. What are you doing? You brought this thing into our home? Quick, kill it before it kills us! Porter hefts his pistol warily, but does not aim at anyone. I have to say, this isn't a good idea. Why the hell is a ghoul in here, and why is it wearing armor? Calm yourselves. I am not an it, and your elders know this intimately. Gaishu bares his teeth in a rictus grin as he turns to face Ing. Good evening, Elder Ing. I can smell your fear, and I'm glad of this. It means you are learning the price of betrayal. Whoa, what the hell's going on here? Could someone explain why the ghoul is talking? Gaishu had a contract with the elders, and they betrayed him. You dare accuse us of conspiring with a monster and covering it up? You're insane. The very idea is preposterous. Porter nods at the elders, looking back at you with a wary expression. I'm interested to hear what kind of evidence you can have to support this theory, Eltimar. As far as I can tell, this monster killed Tong and the others, and that makes him a threat that should be eliminated. They died because they betrayed Gaichu rather than pay him for the killing of Elder Magpie. You believe this vermin, this creature that feasts on metahuman flesh and kills our members of our tribesmen? You're a naive and foolish man if this is the case. Ing spits on the ground in front of Gaichu. What proof do you have that Magpie is dead? Ing, please. In matters where the elder is accused of breaking our law, the other elders generally judge them. In matters where all of them have been accused, I am authorized to act as judge. Make your case, Shadowrunner. I found Magpie's necklace in the storm drains. Porter takes a moment to examine the necklace. He nods at you. This is definitely Elder Magpie's, but if you found it on in the storm drain, that's suspicious, but hardly proof on its own. There was a large amount of blood in her shower drain. So what? Perhaps she cut herself and washed the cut off, or perhaps you're mistaken about being blood. You're simply guessing as to what happened. That's true. It's a guess, and even if it's her blood, that doesn't prove that the elders hired this ghoul to kill her. Porter gives Elder Ip a sidelong glance. The elders have always protected Whampoan Garden to the best of their ability. She hasn't been seen in a month, not by anyone. She wouldn't just disappear like that. That may be unlikely, but it's hardly impossible. You haven't established the elders were involved. All you've done is make suppositions about it. What proof do you have we hired and betrayed this creature? I won't sit by and listen to idle accusations without any kind of concrete evidence to back it up. What about the fight with the Hong Kong police force? How do you mean? What does that have to do with the elders and the ghoul? The evidence in the garage points to a fight with someone using a sword. We allowed the police into Whampoan Garden because they were hunting someone. They never told us who or why they were looking for their quarry. It didn't have anything to do with us. Gaichu hisses through clenched teeth, addressing Porter Lamb. I was only in the garage to collect payment from them. The ordinary residents were warned of the HKPF's arrival and were gone by the time I arrived. That's suspicious, I admit. Porter regards the elder for a long moment. It still doesn't prove that the elders knew it was the ghoul. This is a piece of Gaishu's armor. I found it in the garage. The markings on it prove it. You point out the armor's markings to Porter, and he nods with satisfaction. This is from his armor, definitely, but how does it prove the elders knew of the ghoul's existence? The police officers were abnormally armed and armored, with much heavier gear than a normal patrol. They were armed with armor-piercing, discarding sabot rounds. That's hardly standard issue. Lesser weapons wouldn't have broken that armor plate. If all they were looking for was a common fugitive, why be prepared for a fight of that magnitude? Obviously they knew what they were searching for. That doesn't mean we did. You, Whampoans, don't allow police inside the area. Why make an exception this time? The police were polite and asked our permission to enter. They were hunting a non-Whampoan. That was reason enough for us to allow them in. Porter considers this for a moment, then shakes his head. That doesn't add up, Ning. Why would the police ask for entry now? They've never been polite before. They've always tried to force their way in here. It just doesn't ring true to me. Did you ask them to come in order to hunt down the ghoul? Preposterous, Porter. You know what our community is like. We wouldn't lie over something like this. The ghoul has been lying the entire time, trying to cover his tracks. He's brutally murdered several elders. That's true. The murders were vicious and cruel. Porter fixes you with a hard stare. I don't see any way to explain that. The ghoul is a monster for how he killed Tong and the others. Tong's body was a mess, true, but he died quickly from a sword blow to the neck. I struck Tong down with a single blow from my sword. The mess made of the body was to send the elders a message, but I had no desire to make Tong suffer. At any time, Ing and the elders could have made amends, and the killings would have ended. Instead, they hired a Shadowrunner to kill me. It's not about cruelty, it's about sending a message. That's not what I would have expected, looking at the body. You killed him before you dismembered him? That's right, and I killed the other elders in a similar fashion. There's no cause to prolong their suffering. The message was for living elders, not the dead. If the elders wished to treat me like a monster, I would terrorize them like one until they paid reparations for their mistake. Come on, you can't possibly believe this crazy story. It's insane. Tong wasn't tortured. There's no astral residue of pain or fear. He didn't even feel the blow. That's correct. I struck a single blow while his back was to me. His death was instant. Regrettable that he had died for your folly, Ing, but necessary to protect my reputation. Ing glares at Gaichu in stony silence before addressing Porter. You cannot believe what these people say. They are not to be trusted, and even if this is true, he still killed Tong. Porter looks back at Ing, his expression flat and without emotion. Maybe so, Ing, but a monster would not take Tong's suffering into account. He may be a killer, but he's not heartless. The scene of Tong's murder, like the others, was a deliberate sham. It was made to look more horrific than it was. I believe you. The blood smeared on the walls, the removal of his skin. That's a scene designed to evoke horror, not the scene of an actual fight. Elders, what do you have to say in response? This is a farce. We have dedicated ourselves to protecting the Whampoan tribe and everyone who lives in Whampoan Garden. Do you really believe outsiders and monsters over our word? We have only tried to end the killings. You've been duped, Porter. You and this Shadowrunner. I concur. Porter, you know me. You know the kind of person I am. I wouldn't be party to the killing of another elder. I can't believe we're even entertaining the notion that we have to defend ourselves. We should be disposing of this ghoul instead. Tang narrows his eyes at you, hissing. If you think I'll forget this, you're sorely mistaken. I will not tolerate this kind of insult. Magpie's gear was missing, obviously missing. Why didn't Nip tell me that? He would have had to have noticed, and Magpie's shop is locked up. Why didn't he want me investigating? Pure supposition. You think it proves something I didn't notice the gear was missing? Magpie's shop was always a horrible mess. Tang, you did a full inventory of Magpie's matrix servers, and you assured us that everything was running fine, and you would be able to continue her work. I find it hard to believe that you missed something as obvious as missing equipment, especially while searching her stock. The elders were all too happy to have the red spears move into the garage, almost like they wanted to keep anyone curious about the fight away. That's right, Ip. You even told me not to go find out what happened with the fight. You said the red spear gangers were moving in and to leave them alone. Why would you tell me not to look into it? I was only trying to protect you from the red spears. They're dangerous, which is why I wanted to deal with them directly. That's all I got. Alright, I think I have some idea what's going on here. And what do you believe the real story is? Gaichu seems to be telling the truth. Elders, too many facts don't add up. You're obviously hiding something, possibly a great deal from the rest of the tribe. I'm sorry, but I've decided to take you into custody until the community can decide the extent and manner of your punishment. Death would seem appropriate to me, especially given that they kept up this charade, even to you, one of their most trusted citizens. Don't you dare talk to me like that, you disgusting beast. Ip begins to raise his weapon. Porter reaches out to stop him, and Ip reluctantly stops. Ip, no, don't make this any worse than it is. Porter turns to face you. Thank you, Eltimar. I'll make sure that justice is meted out. You're free to go, and I'll ensure payment is delivered to you, so long as you take Gaichu with you. I can't have him staying here. He'll be coming with me. And that, I believe, is that. As you exit the Whampoa into the sweltering night air of Kowloon streets, Gaichu turns to face you. I confess I'm unhappy with the decision to allow the Whampoan elders to live. We should have killed them, if for no other reason than to maintain our reputation. That's why I let them live. It's not how we do things. Gaichu bows to you, head held very low. I can accept this. I'm unused to working with Shadowrunners, and I assumed you would see things as I do. Hopefully there's much I can learn from you. Shall we leave this place? I'm eager to be done with Whampoa Garden. Yes, we can. Oh, we only gained two karma? 2? We only have 8 now. I need 7-ish more. Now we have Ronan, who's gonna replace. I don't know who's gonna replace in our group though, and I really want to try him out. Back to Haoi. The MTR rockets noiselessly towards Haoi, along the edge of Kowloon Bay. The black water glitters in the night with the light of 1,000 reflected storefronts. Gaichu stares sightlessly out the window, one hand pressed to the glass. The plot by the elders is exposed, and Porter Lamb is in your debt. You have a new ally in the respect of the Whampoans. Sometimes, everything goes right on a job. You count yourself lucky this is one of those times. Everything worked really well. We properly investigated this murdering spree. Revenge it was. Maybe we'll get more karma when we arrive back in the district, because 2 is not enough karma. So my game is running slow, so I might restart my computer after this. It is going super slow. I hope it doesn't crash. Why is it going so slowly? Come on, please load. There we go, more karma gained 8. Alright, we're gonna spend some karma because I think we need to get more charisma skills. So, if we go 8, we can get gang, socialite, or academic. I'm leaning towards gang or academic. I think academic might be more useful. We have corporate, security, Shadowrunner, and academic now. We can't get any further. There's just, we actually can't get to 10 or 12. That's elves only apparently, so. Next up we're going to start working on our quickness ranged combat some more. We gotta max these out. Jesus, somebody just crashed into, or someone just almost crashed into somebody. So there we go, we have another etiquette taken care of. We still have more quests to do. And we're going to call it a video here. Oh, we can level up our people, and then we'll call it a video here. Let's take a look. Maybe not all of our people, but at least our sword dude. So he gets an ability called Rip. Claw ability Rip does 2 damage and 2 bleeding for 2 rounds. Additional 2 damage and 2 bleeding. We can do Red Samurai, a defensive ability that adds +2 armor and +1 dodge. It's actually not bad either. I think I will take the defensive ability on this one. Now we can get Spit, where we can spit infected saliva into the target's face. Ignores armor, damage 8, 4 damage for 2 rounds. It's like a bleed. Or we can throw a shuriken for 12 damage. I get the spit one, that sounds neat. Okay, we got... Did I get those 2 done? Yes, okay. And then we can get coup de grace. Plus 100 damage, but it can only attack stun targets. That might be really nice. Or we can bite. And he gains 1 strength. And does extra damage. I'm gonna get the coup de grace, because that's awesome sounding. We need to get some stun grenades. Stun a guy, hit it for 100. That's a lot of damage. How much life do we even have? That would instantly kill us. That's double our current life total. And that's with 5 body, which I guess is not great, but still. We're going to call it here. Like always, if you have any suggestions or comments, please leave them below. Otherwise, I'll see you guys next time. I'm going to restart my computer. Take care.